Hello again. I am working my way through a series of videos about content for your presentation. If you haven't watched the ones that I've done already, while you're here, they're all in the playlist. Do go and find them and watch through them. But this video is about how you structure the content for your presentation. Now, there are lots of ways to do it. This is a way of putting some order to it. Why do you need structure? Largely because it will make it easier for you to remember where you are in your presentation and hopefully not get too worked up about, oh, whoa, what do I go to next? Because you know it's logical. But it also makes it easier for your audience to understand because there is some structure, there's some flow to it. They know where they're going next. So a couple of easy ways to structure. The first one is a classic, and that is a timeline. Now, it depends on the content you've got and the topic of your presentation. But if you can split your content into past, present, future, or I should say past, present, future, that will give you an easy way to talk about it. This is where we were, this is where we're at now, this is where we want to go. Particularly if you are in a corporate environment, maybe you're doing something sort of training based, it's a good way to do it. This is what we used to do, this is what we do now, this is what we're going to do in the future. Or this is what you used to think about, this is what we think this is what we think now, this is what we want you to think about in the future. A chronology is a really easy way to structure your content. So it's not applicable to every piece of content, but it's often actually a really good starting point. Try to stick to past, present, future. You can start in the future, then flash back to past and present. If you're confident, try it. It can work really nicely. But try not to dot around in the timeline too much. It does get very confusing for an audience. So past, present, future is a classic. The other structure, and I've mentioned this actually in a previous video, is FAQs, questions. If you've written a list of, let's say, 5 questions that you think your audience would ask about this topic, structure your presentation around those. In fact, you could even give it the title, the 5 things you need to know about this topic. The nice thing about this structure is it's very easy to illustrate. You have a slide that says question 1. You say what that question is, and then you answer that question. Question 2, you go through the same process, etc., etc. Another nice thing about this is you can flex it time-wise. So if you know that actually you've got a longer presentation, maybe here are 8 things you need to know about this topic. If you have a short one, maybe here are 3 things. Don't forget that an audience doesn't know what you haven't told them. So here are 3 important things you need to know about this topic. Doesn't mean to say there's not other things that they should know, but here are the 3 important things, or the 3 things you need to know now. The titles like this are often quite slightly clickbaity, but there's a reason, because clickbait works. Yeah, the 3 things you should never do on that. A negative title will often give you a really nice structure and give you something quite a sort of punchy take on a topic. So those are 2 really simple structures that you can use for your content. You can either use a timeline, past, present, future, or FAQs. Here are the 5 things, the 7 things, the 8 things, the 10 things, whatever it is. Probably no more than 10. The other nice thing I should say about the questions format is if you know that you've got 30 minutes and you've got 10 topics or 10 things that you need to know about this topic, you do the maths. You've only got 3 minutes on each. In fact, by the time you've done an opening and a closing section, you've probably only got 2 minutes on each. And it's just a good discipline. And you can, quite frankly, if you want to really push yourself, you can have a clock that counts down 2 minutes on each question. The audiences love it because they know that you have to keep it moving. Makes your presentation quite pacey, but that's maybe something for a slightly more advanced presentation. Anyway, hope that's useful, and I will see you next time.